if there's one thing you can do as a young man to radically change how much progress you make in your life and who you are, it's that changing your identity, right? Your identity, it determines what you do, right? If you view yourself as someone who wakes up at a certain time, who does the work when they're supposed to do it, who eats a certain way, who works out consistently, you start doing things that are consistent with that identity. Now, the most difficult part of that is, how do you build that identity, and how do you stay consistent with that identity? How do you say, okay, I've told myself that I'm someone who does this. Now, how do I make myself believe it? Right? Now, there's a bunch of things you can do. I think one aspect I'm going to go through with this is alter egos, right? You hear a lot of athletes speak about like alter egos. A lot of people who are just like really successful, I know athletes, performers and everything, they speak about having an alter ego, right? Kobe was very famous for having like Black Mamba, right? It's like, no matter what it is, like when he's at home, he was with his family, he's Kobe and everything. But when he leaves and it's time to go like train and everything, it's Black Mamba. And when it's Black Mamba, he's like tunnel vision. He goes and he does the work. He is ruthless. Like he's set out who Black Mamba is, and then he just does everything consistent with that guy, and that works, right? I think alter egos they can be a very, very effective tool for achieving your goals and just changing how you view yourself, right? I think a fantastic book on this, if you do want to look for a book, it's called The Alter Ego Effect. I forgot the name of the guy, but just search The Alter Ego Effect, you'll find it. Now, I don't know if I should tell you this, but I'm going to try and do it in a subliminal way, right? I do not like buy books. I don't get like the hard copies. I find PDFs, right? I find PDFs online, so you don't have to get it if you get what I'm going at, right? If you want to know more about it, you can DM me. I'll tell you exactly where I find it. But yeah, that's beside the point. You can get The Alter Ego Effect. Go read the book, right? You can learn so much from it. I think that's pretty sick when it comes to like building an alter ego and ultimately changing your identity. Now, obviously, there are like two different ways you can do things, right? You can obviously just completely change your identity, like who you are as a person, and you're like, I'm this person all the time. Or you can do an alter ego, right? Like, I'm me, I just do what I want, right? But then when it's time for me to like do a certain thing, I change into this guy who's like ruthless and everything. You can create like an alter ego. I think for me, I prefer like changing yourself, like specifically, and just being like, I'm this person like all the time. Obviously you need to create a more balanced person, but I think that's where alter egos become like quite important, because again, in like using the Kobe example, like the person you need to be on the court when you're playing basketball is not the same person you need to be when you're at home. So I think that's where like alter egos are very effective and important. But yeah, just to like summarize, I don't think I've read The Alter Ego Effect. I think I've watched a podcast with the guy, and he basically explained everything that was in the book. I took down some notes and everything, and I'm gonna like share with you now. So one of the things he spoke about was having like a totem, which is basically like a ritual, if you want to call it that, something that you do that puts you into that mode, right? Now, actually, before we even like go past that, the first thing you need to do is create this guy, right? So now this video is about how to destroy your old self. I want you to write down a list of who you are now, like all the characteristics, everything you can write about yourself, who you are now, and then write like the new self, who you want to be, and write down like all the characteristics you want that person to have. Now you have a very clear picture of who you are and who you want to be, right? And now this new identity has been created, and it's very clear how this new identity is different from your old identity, right? So now you do that, right? Now if you're doing the alter ego thing, you need to have a totem, like a little ritual, like it can be anything, dude. I think what he said, like there's some people who can like, you can put on a bracelet, and then when you put on that bracelet, it's like, I'm this person now. You get the idea, right? You can come up with anything. It can be something as simple as like, I know something I like to do, like it's quite simple. It's like you just look down, you close your eyes, and then you like breathe. You just take a deep breath, and then you look up, and you just scan, and all of a sudden, like, I don't know, like that's my totem, right? Like I've changed now, like I'm this person. So you can do that. A totem can be anything, right? So now you've got your totem, you've got an idea of who you want to be, or who you are and who you want to be, and yeah, you're basically set, right? And that's how it works. I don't have anything more to say. Make sure you subscribe to join the Self Improvement Brotherhood, and until next time, I'll see you boys.